The new secondary school curriculum for Nigeria recently announced marks a bold step in reshaping education to meet the country's manpower needs. With the inclusion of artificial intelligence, robotics, digital literacy, and practical trade skills such as solar installation, agriculture, and garment making, the curriculum shifts focus from theory-heavy learning to a skill-based training. The aim is to equip young Nigerians with employable, entrepreneurial, and future-ready skills that can drive national development. But how well is the country prepared to turn this vision into real manpower development? We have in the studio Shamsudeen Aderoju, Programs Manager, Shams Bridge Consult Limited, to speak to the issues. It's good to have you in the studio, Mr. Aderoju.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and happy holidays to Nigerians. It's good to be back here again.
Great. We've seen Nigeria overhaul the secondary school curriculum, bringing in AI, robotics, and practical trade skills. Why do you think introducing manpower development into Nigeria's into Nigeria's school curriculum is critical at this point in our nation's development?
Thank you very much for that question, and good afternoon once again to Nigerians. Let me begin by congratulating all stakeholders in the education sector for this landmark milestone in the history of our educational system in Nigeria. It's been a long journey coming, and if you trace back the development of our curriculum, it dates back to the advent of missionaries in Nigeria. We looked at the curriculum as a nation in 1969, and then in the 1980s, we reverted into 6334 system of education before the early 2000s, when we looked at the current one that we are currently using. And of course, the announcement of the introduction of skill-based system is something that all well-meaning stakeholders in Nigeria has been clamoring for over time. So now that we have been able to rejig our system to be able to put up this, I think it is a very good, a very welcome development.
One of the criticisms, okay.
Let's look at, the question of the addition of manpower development can be traced from statistics. The median age of Nigerians is 19. So it means that half of our Nigerian population is actually people that are in the educational age that can allow them to have the skills that is needed for development of our economy and also export. So this is a very good, decision, really.
I agree with you. Now, one of the criticisms of our education system is that it produces certificate holders rather than job creators. Do you see this curriculum changing that narrative, and how exactly?
Thank you very much. I have come to this studio and have advocated for the conversation about certificates. Not once, not twice. So the introduction of AI and digital literacy into our educational system is a step in the right direction. Because what this does is that it gives people the opportunity to harness and acquire the skills for the future. Just like what the Minister of Education reiterated, when this is being unveiled, he said, Nigeria is now ready for the future. If you learn AI skills, you learn robotic skills, you learn 3D designs, you learn data analysis, and every of digital skills, there's no need for you to be submitting your CVs from industry to industry. The skills that are there will give you the opportunity to access jobs online. Fiverr is there, Upwork is there, LinkedIn is there, Indeed is there. These are job searching platforms that need people that have the in-demand skills for the future. So before our people, leave secondary school, if this innovation and this policy is implemented rightly, we'll definitely have people, churning out monies that is going to effectively develop our economy as a country. That is one. The other component is even the skills that we need in Nigeria. I've always been an advocate of the fact that there is job. We are currently running a training, in our company, and 2 people had secured job 2 months into the training. And these are graduates that spent years in school, with their certificate. So introducing this curriculum earlier enough would, number one, decongest our higher educational system. Number two, give the opportunity to people to be able to have the skills that will give them the job that is firstly going to add to our GDP as Nigerians and also export the capacity of Nigerians to the larger markets in Africa and, of course, across the world.
Other countries are already teaching coding and robotics in schools. With Nigeria now joining that trend, what opportunities does this open up for our young people to compete globally?
Thank you very much. And I would answer the question by saying, whenever you wake up, that is when your morning starts. So that people of the advanced country are doing it, and then we are joining the trend now, shows that we have woken up, and then our money has actually started. It is rated all over the world that wherever Nigerian goes, we thrive. And it's because of our innate potentialities that God has given us. So this particular introduction of this curriculum presents an opportunity to expand our brain capacity further and also allow us to tap into millions of remote jobs that are in our society, in and outside Nigeria. Statistics has it that even people in the, advanced country want Nigeria to actually do the job for them. Not because of the fact that we are, humans, but we pay attention to details in whatever it is that we do. Our intelligence as Nigerians is not, is actually something that is respected, across the world. So if we are able to channel this energy in producing skills-based education, I believe that our people are definitely going to be high flyers in the world. And in the next 5-10 years, if this is implemented properly, we'll look at what our contribution is going to be to the job market globally.
Yeah, let's now talk about implementation. We know that policies sound great on paper, but classrooms are another matter altogether. Now, what practical challenges do you foresee? Maybe teacher training, equipment, or even electricity, and how can we bridge those gaps?
Thank you very much. And I'm going to stay on this point for quite a while. Policies, we are good. Implementation begins from overhauling the current teachers that we have in our schools. The question that policymakers want to ask themselves is, the current job force, do they have the required skills to even be able to transfer this knowledge? If not, we need to now bring in people with these skills, retrain people that are in school to be able to intentionally teach these skills, and also provide infrastructure that is needed to be able to achieve this. If you look at the operations of our educational system in rural and urban areas, we'll see that there's a lot of dichotomy. Number one is we need to have a roadmap of when is the old curriculum going to be phased out? When is this new curriculum going to be implemented? Who are the people that are going to implement it? What are the practical skills? You may be learning AI, and then they might be teaching theories. And the practicality and the application of everything that needs to be taught must stem out of the domain knowledge of the people that are going to teach it. So number one is we need, much more young tech-savvy people in our schools to teach this. We need an opportunity to have the required infrastructure. And of course, government alone cannot do this. How many of our schools have ICT centers? How many teachers in our schools has ICT knowledge? How many of these guys can even disseminate it? We need to look at our teachers. We need to look at the infrastructure. We need to look at even mind shift from the students is also key. You will agree with me that the current educational system in most schools that we have now is not sustainable. People write exams for people. Now that we want to do this, how do we channel the mindset of the learners to be able to see that skill. See, the era of jumping out of the window from classroom is over. This is what you are going to learn to be able to put money in your pocket and less depend on your parents as you move on in life. So there's a lot of things to unbundle. And if we are unable to, do this roadmap once at a time, we might be missing it from the scratch. Like I said, great policies, implementation is important. We need human capacity. We need infrastructure development. We need collaboration with people that are already doing it. And of course, we need mindset shift from our learners.
Some might argue that focusing on manpower development could divert attention from core subjects like mathematics and English. How do we strike a balance to ensure students are well-rounded while gaining entrepreneurial skills?
Thank you very much. This is a very beautiful question. I'll answer this question in two ways. There is a clear cut between having a domain knowledge and also be able to present your expertise to the world. So, math, English are IQ-driven subjects. Manpower development-driven skills are skills that is needed for you to be able to thrive. You cannot have that skill without having the opportunity to communicate it. So there's no way you are going to, divide. There's no way the both of them work hand in hand. As you are learning manpower, English language, mathematics will allow us think critically and then present these skills to the world. Anybody who learns skills and cannot communicate it will definitely remain a local champion. So as we are introducing this, let us also make sure that we ground our communication skills, the communication skills of our students. You will agree with me before, as I close this chapter, that our writing skills, numeracy skills, and every other skills are actually dwindling. We need to revise this. How do we revise it? How many times do people present, do students actually do project presentation in class? What is our critical thinking quota of learning basically in schools? How do we expose people to industries? One of the things that I would encourage government to do is fostering communication between the industry and the people and the students. As they are learning some of these skills, expose them to industries that actually does it. When they see the practical application of it, the interest to learn will be in them, and then the overall results will be achieved.
All right, Mr. Aderoju, finally, if you were to advise the Federal Ministry of Education on one immediate step to kickstart this initiative, what would it be and why? In one sentence, please.
Human capital development.
Fantastic.
Human capital development.
Great.
That's just it.
It was a pleasure having you on Business Express, Mr. Shamsudeen Aderoju. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Great.